Welcome to our first faculty meeting that doesn't require us to be in the TV room. Today will be a day of innovation. Hopefully it will certainly feel different and look different. We're going to have a gallery walk, of which part of the gallery walk will be using our cell phones as a way of providing information and feedback as we go along. Hopefully you've downloaded your quick response code, that free app. If you don't have a smartphone or you don't have a camera, won't work. But as long as we have a few, you start to get the idea. Within that QR, there's a lot of different things that could be embedded into it. First is a web address. It could be 250 characters. For those of you that checked out my email, realize that I sent you a Robert Frost poem, at least the beginning of it. I could send you my phone number. I could send you my phone number in text. My first question is, DOS is an innovative technology school or just a school with a lot of computers? And I'm not so sure that second one is more accurate to where we are now, but where we're going to be moving towards is an innovative school with technology. The second question is coming from the Chancellor of Education for the state of Florida. We listened to, and his comment was, what is gained if you increase student reading, or math for that matter, by 10%, and then they drop out? We have to engage them and make them want to stay because there is something special. So, technology is an important part of the solution. How do we reach students where they live? Using cell phones or using computers? How do we engage students so that we can increase the rigor in the classroom? And finally, how do we make lectures or content become homework? Move all of this information to the home or to the cell phone as a way of engaging them in a different way, and then by the time they come back to the classroom, they're ready to start working. If you take a look at this car, it certainly is a prototype. I don't know if this car has ever been built. The prototype came out in 2005, but you have to start somewhere. You have to put something out there. So today is day one for putting something out there. You know, now that we're a bit school, it certainly is. It's great that a bit school has some hooks. Cell phones certainly can become a hook. Computers can become a hook. A love of a teacher can become a hook. Engaging instruction is a hook. Think back, what is it that hooked you on education, that made you want to stay? If you take a look at this pyramid, certainly the words in the middle are things we know, but all of the pictures and graphics around it are things that are new within the last few years. And in a lot of ways, I'm not even familiar with many of them, but to start to realize that the world has changed, and while the pyramid, the words in the middle have stayed the same, it's what's around them, and how do we engage students in a way that is in their world. So, how can we teach in another way? How about if we teach naked? Now, while that sounds very provocative, it isn't what it sounds like. And that is, what would happen if all of our instruction would be done at home for homework? We would present it in video style on a cell phone or on the computer, and they would be required to review it prior to walking into the classroom. So, let's try it. We're going to do a faculty meeting. The faculty meeting, I'm going to give you information. At the same time, I want you to review it online. So we're going to have a lot of different ways that make you start to realize that this could have been done naked. All right, we have a business partners meeting. We have the DOS business community. We're trying to foster relationships. It'll be at South Park Country Club. It'll be this Thursday from 6 to 9. There's 25 businesses already have signed up. We have 2 Metro commissioners will be there in attendance as well. Anybody needs to RSVP, they would do it through Jamie Baldwin. So if you have family, friends, relatives, people you know who might be interested, they would go through Jamie. If you would like to be there, make sure you talk to Jamie, because Jamie would like to have you at a table and working with these businesses as well. DOS FAFSA workshop. Any student who's interested in it, and seniors obviously are the audience, they should be contacting their counselors immediately and starting to sign up for Thursday and Friday, and they would be working on the FAFSA. On the 19th, before the 19th, they should be logging into the FAFSA and getting all the information started. There also will be an email sent out in the next day or so that gives you an idea of the types of things that your students should be bringing. So if you have students, you need to reinforce that they need to talk to their counselor. Portfolios, they must be turned in. Ms. Schartzer will be sending out an email in the next few days with regard to portfolios, but right now we need to have them handed in to their English teachers. Parent-teacher conferences is going to be done a little bit different. Parent-teacher conferences will be on the 13th. There still will be time for the teachers to talk to the parents or to the CAPS advisor to talk to the parents. But in addition, we're going to have some college information, college opportunities, ACT opportunities, individual learning plan opportunities for the parents as well. Now, for right now, it's 12 to 7 is going to be the faculty or the parent-teacher conference, but we'll have a bunch of different opportunities that'll be 30 minutes approximately in length, where the parents could come in and experience quite a few different things. All right, so what has changed in the students? The average high school student can effectively listen to a lecture for 10 minutes, and that's not quite as long as I've talked right now, but realize that's all the longer they can listen. Nearly 70% of all high school dropouts say they are not motivated to work hard, and finally 2/3 would have worked harder if they had been demanded to work harder. All right, so we're going to take a poll. Let's see how this works. Everybody needs to get their smartphones out. You need to be able to send a text message. From that text message, you're not going to send it to a name, but you're going to send it to a number. So you can see up there it says you're going to send to, and there's the number, 37607. So we're going to take a poll, and we're going to see if you find this interesting. So the first one is, I like online meetings. So imagine this would be online, that you would get it not through being in the gym, but you'd be sitting at your computer. So in the field, the text part, type in 22308 if you think this would be a great way of getting your information. If you don't like it, send this in. It's totally anonymous. There's no way we know who you are. If you don't like online meetings, type in 22309. So I'm going to give you a few more seconds to type those numbers. So what happens from there, you are sending it into a poll where we can kind of gauge the score. Right now you can see, I did this at home when I was trying to put it all together. It will give me information of true and false, what our numbers are at the time. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the video and we're going to be able to see what the score is. Now this is no different than a classroom where you may want to ask them questions and check for understanding, and they would type in code. Now, there's obviously some problems you're going to have with this. Students have to have online services. They have to be able to use their phone. They have to have smartphones. There's a lot of different things that come with this. But just like that car, the prototype, until someone starts, no one can move any farther. So I'm now going to click on. All right, hopefully you can get an understanding of how this survey would work using cell phones. Now we'd like to move on to the ACT Sure Thing. Hopefully you're pushing the students to the vocabulary and making sure that they are thinking through words that are challenging. We also want to make sure that every department is using their ACT Sure Thing minutes. And finally, I'd like to make sure that all the diagnostic and proficiencies will be timed, and each department is going to determine how many minutes should be allotted for that as well. There is a tentative date for our winter academic ceremony, which was canceled last week because of the weather. It looks like the practice is going to be on the 9th. The actual ceremony is on the 10th. So if we have any conflicts, make sure you're letting us know. Few things before I go, and that is, you realize 174 days ago we were at the summer retreat, the 25th and 26th. Back then I challenged you, were you going to be a lifelong learner? And was Doss High School going to go through this evolution as opposed to a lot of change, but moving, that we are evolving into something? Hopefully that is something that over the last 174 days you've thought about. We're continuing to move forward. Remember, it's the one thing that is the secret to our success, and that is our collective wisdom. Programs are going to come and go. But the question is our collective wisdom actually going to make the difference?